Welcome to Cooking with Rescued Food.
Now, before we begin the program at Queen Elizabeth Park Community and Culture Center, it's important to acknowledge the land that we're on, Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation.
Food insecurity is a real reality for families right here in Oakville. And because of that, we want to teach you how to use rescued food to make great, healthy options for you and your family.
Now, all the meals that we're going to make today are donated to us as rescued food by Food for Life, our amazing partners for this program. It's important for us to have this program and start a conversation so that people can break the stigma of rescued food and feel a sense of community for everybody in Oakville. So let's go.
Hi, I'm Graham with Food for Life. I'm the executive director of an amazing organization that has been serving the community for 25 years. Food for Life has been rescuing food and impacting lives all the way across Halton and Hamilton, and we're not planning on stopping anytime soon. We go out to grocery stores, retailers, wholesalers, producers, and we rescue amazing quality food that you're going to see in these cooking demonstrations, and we get it back out into the community to help people who are struggling with hunger. People who are struggling with hunger look no different than you and me. We don't know why people turn to a food program for help, but we do care that they have access to good, healthy, amazing food. And that good, healthy, amazing food is readily available and is typically thrown out as part of our natural waste process of the supply chain. And we rescue this good, healthy, perishable food and then get it back out into a community. And with the help of chefs like you're going to see through this, show you how to turn it into amazing, healthy, good food for you and your family and your loved ones. So if you need to turn for assistance, you need a hand, whether it's for a reason or a season, maybe it's a job loss, maybe you're just looking to stretch the budget a little bit more, or maybe you're just looking to learn how to eat healthier and put down the Oreos and pick up a squash, give us a call or visit our website. And if during this time of COVID-19, if you're experiencing any challenges with mobility, ODSP, or any other health challenges that may limit you accessing regular programs in community, please just dial 311 and Halton Region will bring you into the system, and we'll reach out and deliver directly to your home. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And remember, learn more, volunteer, and donate anytime at foodforlife.ca.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Cooking with Rescued Food. Now, if you're like the millions of viewers who watched our first episode, I know you're curious to know what wonderful ingredients and dishes we have with us today. And obviously, we're joined by the ever wonderful Chef Laura. Chef, how you doing?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Good. I'm very excited. What are we making today?
So we were gifted with some lovely fruit. So we are going to make a fresh fruit salad.
Wow.
And we are going to accompany it with a nice warm biscuit.
Fantastic. And as always, a huge shout out to Food for Life for donating us these wonderful ingredients so that we can show you guys how to cook with rescued food and make wonderful meals. And as you guys know, we're being COVID safe, so we have our masks on. As we're cooking, everything has been sanitized, so we're good to go. Now, I really want to talk about some of the ingredients that were provided to us by Food for Life. This is persimmons, permissions. What do you really call this thing, and what is this, Chef Laura?
This is called a persimmon.
Mm-hmm.
This one in particular is called a fuyu persimmon.
Wow.
And it's distinguished by its short, squat shape. Kind of looks like a tomato.
And what does it taste like?
These actually are quite sweet. There's actually two main varieties of persimmon, so astringent and non-astringent. We are going to be using the non-astringent, which means that it will be nice and sweet. Persimmons tend to be a little bit more on the softer side, and these ones are extremely sweet. So these ones you can actually eat like an apple.
And I will.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we got the persimmons. Now, what I'm really curious about is I'm a big fan of pomegranate. Now, Chef, I don't know if you're like me, but as much as I like eating them, I don't really like preparing them or getting them out of this shell here.
Yeah, there's a couple little tricks to this one. So even if you turn it around, you've got your crown on top. So what you do, or what we're going to do, is we're going to actually cut a circle around the crown, take it off, and then I'll show you using a water method how to get the seeds out, which are also called arrows. and we'll get those out without the white pith.
I'm so looking forward to that because that's going to be a life changer, folks. We got some wonderful ingredients. We got some pears.
Yep, pears, a great fall fruit as well. It pairs very nicely, actually, because it's a very mild flavor. So it will pair very nicely with the persimmon and the crunchiness of the pomegranate seeds.
Wow.
Also very high in fiber.
Yes, which is something that I definitely need.
Persimmon is also high in fiber as well.
Well, this is a very high fibrous, healthy, filled with vitamin A, B, and C, I believe.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. We got some oranges. We have some apples. So these are all going to go into our fruit salad?
Absolutely, yep.
I can't wait. Now, what are we going to start with, Chef?
I think we're going to start with our biscuits, and we'll get those in the oven, and then we can work on our pomegranate.
Let's do it.
All right.
So as you know, guys, your friendly neighborhood community development specialist, Nabil Rahman, loves to eat biscuits. I'm a great eater of biscuits, but not a great maker of one. Chef, so how do we make biscuits, and what's so good about them?
Okay, so biscuits are great because they can actually go with a lot of different foods, whether it be sweet or savory. So in our bowl here, we've got our flour, a little bit of sugar, some salt, and our leavening agent is going to be baking powder.
Nice.
Okay, so we've got cold, unsalted butter. So we're going to put that right into our bowl. And then we're just going to use our fingers just to break up the butter pieces until it resembles more of a coarse meal. Okay, so this is looking perfect. So you can see that our butter pieces are small. This is exactly what we're looking for. Now we're going to add our liquid. So we've got 3/4 cup of milk. Okay. Now the trick here is we're just going to mix the wet into the dry, but we're going to try not to overmix.
What about our friends with maybe lactose intolerance? Is there like any kind of milk substitute?
Absolutely. At my house, we use a lot of oat milk, so I actually use oat milk in my biscuits. Okay, so we don't want to overmix. So what I'm going to do here is now you can see that it's forming a ball. So I'm just going to use my hand, and I'm just going to press in some of these dry bits in the bowl, and I'm going to knead maybe about 4 or 5 times, and then that's it. Okay. Okay, so we've got a little bit of flour here. I'm going to put this on our work surface. Okay, I'm just going to give it a little press out. So I like my biscuits to be a little bit on the thicker side. So I'm just going to use my rolling pin. So this is actually called a French pin or a tapered pin. I like to use this when I find I have a little bit more control over my dough. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So one of the things that when you have your dough at the desired thickness, you're going to use a round cutter. If you don't have a cutter like this, you can actually just use a small glass jar. So the trick is you want to do a quick down and up.
Wow.
Okay. So you never want to twist your cutter, because what you're doing there is you're actually sealing your biscuit, so you're not going to get any lift.
That's what's been happening with me.
Yes.
I'm a big twister.
Oh, no twisting.
Yeah, no twisting. All right.
Not here.
I got you.
All right. So again, just straight up and down. And then when you are placing them on your baking tray, if you want nice soft sides, then you put your biscuits together. If you want crispy sides, then you space them apart.
Wow.
Okay.
All the tips of the pro.
I like nice soft sides, so I'm going to put mine together. And then before we put these in the oven, what we can do is we can actually just do a little wash with a little bit of milk, and that will actually help brown them in the oven as well.
Amazing. Look forward to it.
When we are finished cutting the biscuits, we're going to put these into a 450 degree oven for about 12 to 15 minutes. So what we're looking for is a nice brown top and golden in color.
Awesome. I'm so looking forward to eating this biscuit, and I can't wait for us to start making our salad. And for that, we have a very special guest, my counterpart, my protege, Daniel.
Great.
Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel, Community Development Specialist with the town of Oakville. I'm joined with Chef Laura Stratt, and we are going to show you folks how to make a fresh fruit salad with rescued food. So for those of you accessing rescued food, you may notice that, depending on the season or what's available, fruits may change. And today, Chef Laura is going to show us how to prepare a beautiful fresh fruit salad with some of the options we have for it with us today.
I'm so excited to work with these fruits. All right, so I think what we're going to do is we are going to make our dressing first, because what we're going to do afterwards is we're just going to put all of our fresh fruit in the bowl, and then we'll mix, and then we're ready to go.
Love it.
Okay, so easy breezy. Okay, so we've got some nice honey here. So we're going to do about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to eye. Nice fresh honey. It's nice to use honey too, a natural sweetener. Okay, so we've got some honey there, and then we've got some nice fresh lemons. So we're just going to put in about half a lemon. So I like to squeeze over my hands. So if I get any seeds, whoop, I got an escapee. So the seeds tend to stay in between your fingers. Okay.
So Chef Laura, if someone, say, is making a fruit salad and they don't have honey lemon, is there any other bases or recommendations you can suggest to start a fruit salad?
That's a really good question. You can actually use maple syrup if
Great.
that's available. If you don't have maple syrup or lemon, you can use lime instead of the lemon, or even if you have the oranges, you can use some of the orange juice or grapefruit juice with honey or maple syrup. Or if you have none of those things and you have white sugar, you can actually make something called a simple syrup, which is equal parts water and sugar. And you can boil that on the stove, and it will become a little bit thick. And then you let it cool down, and then you can pour it on according to taste.
Great. So you can make a fresh fruit salad with pretty much anything.
With anything.
Yeah.
Or you can have no dressing.
True.
Right? All right. Can I get you to whisk that for me?
Yes.
And then I will get started with the yeast. So now we're going to cut our persimmon. So these ones you can peel or not peel. It's all personal preference. I prefer to peel them myself. So I'm just going to use a peeler here, and I'm just going to okay, so I'm just going to turn it over, and then I'm just going to slice down the middle, and then you can open it up. Sometimes you'll find little brown seeds in here, so just be mindful. I'm just going to take my paring knife, and I'm just going to cut out that middle bit, since we don't want any of that in there. We can save this for our green bin.
Folks watching at home, it's almost like a peach and a nectarine and an orange.
It does kind of have that texture. All right. So with this one, you can actually slice it if you were to eat it at home like you would an apple. But we're going to dice ours today. So we're just going to do some small bite-sized pieces. So you can kind of see it's quite firm.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. It's very pretty. So we're just going to put it in some bite-sized pieces. So we're going to cut our pear. So this is a Bartlett pear.
So I eat pears all the time in my home, and I find that they really vary in texture and taste based on how long they've been in my home.
Yes.
So for a fruit salad, what are we looking for here?
I like the Bartlett pear too for straight eating.
Yep.
I find if I'm going to be cooking with pear, then I prefer to have a Bosc pear. I find that they hold their shape a little bit better, but both are great for eating.
So Bartlett being of the softer variety.
It is soft.
It gets pear being a little bit harder for baking.
Yes, it's a little bit more firm. The Bartlett pears, they do tend to get very soft, so very good for puree or for just eating on their own.
Similar to apples, how there's all the different varieties.
Absolutely. Okay, let's switch over to some apple. We've got some nice baby Royal Gala apples. So we are going just to cut those. So I'm going to actually cut one side off, and then I can put this flat side on my cutting board so it's not going to slide around. And I find this to be a little bit easier, so then you're not coring and seeding your apple. It's nice and easy. Okay, so we're going to be adding some orange segments to our fruit salad as well. So I'm just going to cut the bottom and the top of our little clementine. You can use a navel orange. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start with our knife at the top, and then we are just going to move around the edge of our orange. So what we're doing is we're just taking off the peel and the white pith part, which can be quite bitter. This is great actually if you are trying to segment any kind of citrus fruit, especially orange and grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you can actually see here, there's little membranes that are separating each segment of orange. So if you actually take your knife and you go down the sides of each membrane, I'll get this first one out, it's always the hardest. And then the membranes don't go into the salad.
Very cool.
And I'm just going to do it over the bowl to catch any juice that might be coming out, because we want all that.
This is
goodness.
great for young children to avoid choking on the orange membrane.
Absolutely.
I have a little baby at home and we haven't given her orange yet because of that, but apple we can, because people will naturally try to chew something hard. But when it's soft, it's a little bit tricky.
It is tricky. So in our fruit salad, we're actually going to put in a little bit of fresh mint. This actually pairs very, very well with the persimmon and the pomegranate. Gives it a nice, fresh taste on your palate. So we're just going to do some nice, finely chopped mint.
Is there any other fresh herbs you could recommend other than mint that folks may have at home?
Basil, if you have it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's move on to our pomegranate. So when you buy a pomegranate, you want to make sure it is this nice red ruby color. You don't want to have any kind of big blemishes on it. What we're going to do is, this is called the crown. So we are going to use our paring knife, and we are just going to cut at an angle, so maybe about a 45-degree angle. And we are going to cut this crown part off. Just be mindful that pomegranate does stain. So if you want to wear gloves, then you can, but just be mindful maybe not to wear your best clothes. Okay, I've just got a little bit of juice here.
So
I'm
wow, beautiful.
Get all that goodness there. So when you have a pomegranate, you can see on the interior, see Daniel, you've got your lines here. So what you're going to do is you're just basically going to use your knife, and you're going to go down where you have the separations. So here's another one.
Where there's like the flesh membrane. Or...
That's right.
Yeah.
Get the cloth here, and I'm just going to put this on our board. I'm just going to move some of these things here. All right, so we've got a bowl full of water. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to peel our pomegranate.
Very neat. Now, what are some of I assume people love pomegranates, not because they're difficult, but because they taste delicious and maybe they're good for you. So what are some of the benefits of pomegranate?
So pomegranate, actually, you can do a lot of things with the pomegranate. You can actually put these seeds in a blender, and then you can blend them just very briefly, and then you put them on the stove and make a reduction. And that can actually be used for chicken or fish. Or you could use it for a dessert.
Now, I can see the ones that you're retrieving sinking to the bottom, naturally separating themselves from the flesh.
Yes, and this is what you're looking for. So these will all sink to the bottom, and the pith will stay at the top.
And the staining, which we saw on our counter, is now simply just in the bowl.
Correct. Okay, so now that we have our pomegranate seeds from our pomegranate, we're actually just going to sprinkle 1 or 2 handfuls on there. And then we're going to give this a stir just to coat all the fruit. The nice thing about this salad too is it's always better the next day when all the flavors can marinate together.
I was going to ask, with with what we've added in terms of the lemon juice and maybe some preserving of freshness, how long will this fruit salad last?
I would say eat by next day.
Okay. Well, we are using rescued fruits as well, so.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. It's the persimmon actually that gets quite soft.
Oh.
But the pear and the apple and the pomegranate seeds will actually last quite a bit of time.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got our biscuits that came out of the oven. So nice layering here. So these ones don't even need to be cut. They are just nice and flaky. So we will put that onto our plate. So we'll just put it on the side like this maybe. And then we can spoon our fruit salad on top.
Wonderful.
Sometimes what I like to do actually is I like to take my biscuit and I put my fruit salad right on top and then I eat it like that. Or you can add a little bit of whipped cream if you so desire. But this is probably the most healthiest way to...
It's very impressive. You just touched a warm biscuit and did not eat it.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you everyone for joining us again for our second episode of Eating with Rescued Food. If you want, you can go back and look at past episodes, and we hope by the time you're watching this, we have many more episodes to enjoy. Thank you very much. Hi, and thank you for watching this week's episode of Cooking with Rescued Food. If you find yourself utilizing rescued food, it's important for you to know that the town of Oakville does have a variety of services for folks who are looking for low or no-fee service programs. You can find these opportunities by searching affordable access at oakville.ca. Here you will find a list of all programs that the town offers at low or no cost. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, you can subscribe to our mailing list for affordable access notifications. Each month, we will share new opportunities for you and your family to enjoy at low or no cost. If at any point you have any inquiries on how your family can be more active in the Oakville community, just email affordableaccess@oakville.ca. Thank you very much, and we hope that you come by and watch us again.